That is correct. Yes, my grandmother is Korean. Still is Korean. My grandmother's still around. She's very healthy, wonderful woman. I love her very much. But yeah, my family, my father originated in Korea. He was born on the Air Force base, the Army base in Seoul, Korea. And yeah, that's kind of my Korean roots. So yeah, I've got about 25% Korean in me. I've always been proud of that. I love Korean food, and I love representing Korea in the UFC. I felt great. It was a tough fight. Obviously, we didn't get the win, but it was awesome to be there. I felt very welcomed, and it was something special for me and for my grandmother. We talked about it. She's not been back to Korea in probably 20 years, so it was cool for her to see me over there and competing in the homeland. Yes. So I think when I fought in Busan, the Korean Zombie was headlining the card, and I think I said something to the degree of, well, we got the Korean Zombie on the card. It's only right that the Korean Brad Pitt is on the card too. So yeah, that's hilarious. I like to believe that I fight exactly like who I am, like it's my best way to express myself. And no matter how we try to change things up, like we can make adjustments, but ultimately this is the way I express myself. I fight like who I am. I go out there and I scrap. So yeah, I've taken some tough losses. I've gotten some big wins, but ultimately we're gonna go out there and do our best and scrap hard, and we'll pick up the pieces where they lie. But I like to think that I'm a fan-friendly fighter. I'm a guy that people like to tune in and watch, the educated fans at least. So I take pride in that. But I'm very much going out there to express myself, and the best way I know how. Yeah, I think everybody was kind of afraid that they were going to be next. I was coming off of a win. I fought Naoki Inoue in Singapore, and it was a really, really close fight. And honestly, like, I kind of, just by the skin of my teeth on that one. So, and everybody coming off of a loss, they did get cut. I mean, Inoue got cut, and he's incredible. He's still out fighting, doing really well. He's a great fighter. But yeah, I think everybody was kind of afraid at the time. I mean, they cut Brandon Moreno during the flyweight purge. You saw he came back and stormed back and won the title. So I don't know exactly what they were doing. I don't think they knew exactly what they were doing. For me, my game plan was to just kind of lay low, keep quiet, and it worked out. They did eventually have me fight at bantamweight one time, and then I dropped back down to flyweight from there, and we've been back at flyweight ever since. So very, very thankful that they didn't get rid of my division, But yeah, we here. So happy to be a small part of them deciding to keep the flyweights around. And I do think that I was a part of that. Yeah, what I said about fighter pay, I wasn't necessarily defending it. I was just pushing back on the narrative that fighters are grossly underpaid. I don't believe that. I'm not grossly underpaid. I believe I'm paid pretty well. After this fight, God willing, I get a win. Guess what? I'm going to get paid more. That's how it goes. Like, does Francis Ngannou deserve more money? Yeah. Does Poirier, does Nate Diaz, these guys deserve a bigger share? They certainly do. They're the stars. But my biggest pushback is everybody talking about the wage of debuting fighters. And I believe that debuting fighters, not only are they paid reasonably, but over my time of being in the UFC, it's gone up from, I think it was 8-8 with your first initial contract. Now it's 12-12. And you expect it to go up over time as the UFC generates more money. But there's this idea, this narrative out there that UFC fighters are having to work second and third jobs. And it's like, not if you're winning your fights. And I would counsel debuting guys on that first contract. I would tell them, hey, don't quit your day job just yet. Wait until you get that second contract, and then maybe you can talk about quitting your day job. But if you add up what debuting fighters make over their first 4-fight contract, I mean, even if you go 2-1, you'll make like $75,000-$80,000. Is that not a livable wage for a young man in the United States of America? It is. It's better than a livable wage. It's a pretty good wage. The UFC takes better care of their fighters than any organization in the world, period. And not to say that there aren't some guys. There's a small percentage of dudes in Bellator that get taken care of. But what about the majority? What about the generalized population of those guys? A lot of guys, especially on these local shows, they'll make as little as $1,000 to show, $1,000 to win. Where are people complaining about that? Not only are they making $1,000 to show, $1,000 to win, but they're expected to sell tickets to a Bellator event. So come on. Yeah, could it be better? Of course. But the UFC is the one paving the way. Should we hold them to a standard? Should we constantly put pressure on them to pay their fighters better? I think so. I think there are discussions that need to be had. Insurance, policies that take care of UFC fighters past their careers, things like that can be discussed. And I'm not shutting that down. But the idea that all UFC fighters are grossly underpaid, it's a lie. And it amazes me that I'm the only guy out here saying this. Yeah, I would just like to say I'm very proud of my Korean heritage. I love my grandmother, love my father. They came from Korea, and I'm proud to be a representative. I go out there and I wear that flag with pride, and continue to follow along. I'm just a normal guy out here doing his best, but I think a lot of people can kind of rally around that. So I'm thankful for the Korean fans. Continue to watch, continue to support, and I'm going to continue to go out there and try my best. Thankful for everything. Love Korean food. I dream about bulgogi right now. I eat kimchi probably 4 days out of the week. So I'm missing all that stuff right now because we've got some weight to lose. Yeah, I would like that. I'd like to come back and get a win in Korea.
Yeah, great.